All right. Wow. You know what? That came fast. What's up, everybody? So glad to have you here. Don't you love these days when we have a GatherVerse? It's bringing together like a whole global community to learn and to kind of get in here together. I'm not going to waste a lot of time. I'm Stefan Youngblood. I run the Black AI think tank as well as some other endeavors. And I know a few of you in this room, but we're going to kind of jump right into it and have you do some introductions. And on my screen, we will start with Justine. Would you introduce yourself first? And maybe just take a 90 seconds, 60 seconds.
Hi all. Awesome. So, hi there. My name is Justine Clarke, and I am an AI guide as well as educator. And I'm here to have a conversation on education and what it requires for us to build, if you will, the right infrastructure for our students. I work with business professionals as well as individuals and also tutor students. And so I'm not here to tell you AI is the future. I'm more here to share that I work with people who are in that future right now. I believe that their perspectives and their experience can contribute a lot to our conversation. And so I'm bringing that as well as my experience and looking forward to our gather.
I love it. Thank you so much for being here. I'm excited. Dr. Lola, I'll come to you next. Your microphone.
That.
There you go.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
All right. So, good morning and thank you for having me. I am Dr. Lola Longe. I have my master's degree in AI and also my PhD in AI. So, I'm an AI professor. I teach across multiple universities, and I'm the founder of Trust AI Chain, where I focus mainly on responsible AI literacy, and how to prepare humans to think and work in an AI driven world. So I'm here to hear other people to impart knowledge and especially making sure we use AI responsibly in education. So
Mm,
thank you.
beautiful. Great to have you. I can hear AI saying, as you say that we're going to prepare AI, AI is probably saying, and we'll prepare you also to think. We'll talk about that. Eli, next. Can we have you? Ellie? It's probably Ellie. Ellie Boshin? Okay.
Okay, I
There we
feel like I just timed out real fast.
go.
Give me 1 second to get myself resettled. This has happened before in a prior GatherVerse.
Do you want me to come
There
back
we
to you?
go.
Oh,
Here we
there we
go.
go.
So we're
Is
just
it
gonna start
Ellie?
fresh. Yes, my name is Ellie Boahen. I am a Ghanaian American cyborg anthropologist and technology ethicist. I focus on making sure that we are prepared legally and education wise for the technology world, starting with older adults in my community and hoping to bring it back to Ghana and the rest of the world. Thank you.
Hmm. I love that. Can't wait to hear about that. Nagawa Lul or Lule?
Nago Olule. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you. Hi. Yes, I'm Nago Olule, and I'm a consultant at Zenith. I'm also an AI educator and a co-founder of AI Between Worlds. And I try to make sure that when we teach AI, I would be doing it in an ethical manner, make sure it's done responsibly, and it's like in a culturally intelligent manner as well, like like location specific, and that basically we're making sure we're not leaving anybody behind. So
Mm,
yeah.
love it. This is great. And lastly, I believe it's lastly, Ian King. Great to have you this morning.
Yeah, thank you for having me here. So,
Your mic is a little low. Maybe if you could
hello,
bring it up
can you hear? Okay, all right.
a little louder.
Um, hold on. Uh, is it still low?
No, that's good right there. Thank you.
It's okay. All right, all right. So I am Ian Kang from South Korea. I am the founder of Howler, which is a hybrid online live education platform where students can learn from each other using presentation methods and discussing methodologies. Especially, I fully utilize cognitive science, like scientific ideas, logic, especially logic, I don't want to even mention like AI. Everybody uses AI, so I know AI is what accelerates and maximizes the learning outcomes. And like even though the topic of this panel is also education crisis, I think I'm here to tell people that AI can actually like significantly narrows down the digital divide as long as we know how to uh,
Yeah.
use it properly for students, and we need to let them know, and then we need to help them because
Well,
they're creative enough and they are not really knowledgeable or skillful when
yeah.
it comes to using AI or computers.
Well, I'll have you share a little bit more of that when we come back to you. This is really fascinating.
Yeah.
And we'll just start with the first question here. Is AI an infrastructure, a tutor, or a threat to traditional learning models? And let's go to, oh, Sadio, I didn't see you. It's great to have you here. I'm sorry I didn't get you. Would you introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Sadio Jonas. I am the founder of the Academy for AI Strategy as well as AI Vantage Consulting, where I help leaders uh, be prepared to lead their organizations through this this AI augmented era.
Mm-hmm. Love it. And it's good to see you. So we've seen each other around quite a bit. That's what that's what this World Wide Web global thing does. We get to know one another. Justine, I'm going to bring the first question to you. Is AI an infrastructure, a tutor, or a threat? There's probably a lot that it could be besides that to traditional learning models.
Okay, no, it's a great question. All right, so as an AI guide and educator, I work and I help people kind of like see and figure out what to do next, right? To your question about if it's an infrastructure or a threat or a tutor, I don't know that I would say that the threat is. I've heard like a concern that AI is potentially replacing teachers. I don't know that's the real threat. I think AI is exposing a lot about how classrooms are built, how it wasn't really honing in on like teaching critical thinking to begin with. So I feel like there's a gap that AI is gonna be shining a light on making something more visible.
Mhm.
Um, to me, if you're dealing with a classroom model where students, they have access to search tools, um, but they don't quite fully know how to interact with it, I feel like then that's a model that's broken.
Mhm.
And so to your question, or if it's an infrastructure, a tutor, or a threat, I feel that it's a threat in a sense, but there's an opportunity if we really look at what the light is exposing, like what the gaps that are being exposed. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, it almost seems like I some people here would probably answer all three. Really quick,
Yeah.
if you can just raise a hand, who kind of thinks it is a threat? A little. Anybody? Oh, okay. One of you, two of you see it's threatening. Who really sees it as a tutor? Okay. All right. And infrastructure. I know you got to be one of those. Okay. Infrastructure. Let's go to Dr. Lola. You have a profound education in teaching, and this is your thing. What do you feel? And I think you should maybe indicate what grades, because your teaching really is a lot different for elementary to high school to college. So maybe if you could give us your perspective on that.
Okay, so I teach graduate students, people doing masters in AI.
Got it.
Yes, those are the people I teach. So adult students.
Hmm. And I'll
Yes.
take that in mind as you do this. So, for you, is AI an infrastructure, tutor, or threat to learning models?
I would actually say is an infrastructure as
Hmm.
long as it's used correctly.
Hmm.
Yes, so students need to know how it works, where it fails, and how not to trust it because it does hallucinate when we talk about generative AI,
Hmm.
which is the most popular, talking about Gemini,
Hmm.
ChatGPT, Claude,
Hmm.
Perplexity, and the rest of them.
Hmm.
So, and this is where governance becomes critical. People should know how to use it and not just rely on it. We have come to the age where AI is so popular. We couldn't tell students not to use it, but
Hmm.
they should be able to use it responsibly. When
Hmm.
they do the assignment, the teachers are not there with them at home. So the thing is, I guide them very well.
Mm-hmm.
You can use it for your outlines, but don't lift everything that the AI has given you. You should be able to add your own words, do
Yeah.
your own due diligence, and
Mm-hmm.
do a research. So I came up with a thing that when I give you an assignment, you have to be transparent. Let me know where you have used an AI tool.
Mm-hmm.
Let me know what you have come up with. And I have to see your sources, where
Mm-hmm.
you have actually generated your content from and what AI has contributed towards your assignment. So basically, transparency and using it responsibly.
In the year 2027, yes or no, do you think you will probably be using AI to check their work?
Yes, I believe so. And when it comes to using AI to check work, I actually don't do that. I do it on my own. I check your
Mm-hmm.
references. So
Yeah,
it's not
yeah,
like using AI tool to determine whether AI tool has been used. I
yes.
don't do that.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, this is good stuff. By the way, this thing here, this phone, um, this is a dependency and something maybe a lot of us are addicted to, and it really is the big culprit. We want students to not use that because we don't want you dependent on it. And yet, this little thing here, they
Mhm.
see our actions as adults, and it's sort of a conduit for all that AI is. I want to ask, we're going to just run to this next question because I have a few of them here. What does responsible AI integration in classrooms globally look like? Who is specifically in that place right now? Let me have you go then, Ellie. Thank you.
Hi. So to first answer, and a big thing when we talk about AI integration is we have to define AI. Are we talking
Mm,
about generative AI? Are we
mhm.
talking about chatbots? Are we talking about machine learning models, right? We
Yeah.
tend to just throw out the word AI and we're not
Mhm.
defining it in the context of the conversation.
Mhm.
Because if I want to teach a group of students machine learning, I can
Mhm.
do that on a piece of paper, walk them through
Yeah.
the logic of how we're training machines and things like that. But if
Mhm.
I want to teach a student how to critically think with generative AI, I would use the AI model, walk them through as Dr. Longe. Did I get that right?
You're fine, longer.
Longe, as Dr. Longe said earlier, you need that critical thinking. You need to know the sources. You need to know where students are using the AI and not using the AI. I don't interact with this as much working with older adults, but I'm on the flip side where I'm trying to explain AI that is already turned on and letting them know where that AI is. For
Mhm.
example, Google putting Gemini generative AI summaries at the top of emails, and they're thinking, oh, that's what the person emailed to me, and explaining to them, no, that is an AI, which is a machine
Yeah.
that is making a summary. That is not what that person said.
Mhm.
So when we're trying to integrate AI into the classroom, it starts with critical thinking, then
Mm,
data, then stats education, then public and persuasive speaking education, and hopefully computer access along the way.
mm. Uh, Explain cyborg anthropologist and technology ethicist to a 13-year-old.
Okay. So, have you seen a robot in a television show or something like that, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Think of that robot, right, in your head. How would you describe the robot and let them talk through adjectives that they're thinking
Mhm.
about with that
That's
robot? And then based off of those adjectives, positive or negative, using some of my prior research, do you see that robot as more of a friend?
Mhm.
Would you invite that robot to your house? What about
Mhm.
your birthday party?
Mm. I got it.
Those questions are talking about cyborg anthropology, understanding your relationship with technology, but also for yourself. Like if
Mhm.
you got a robot arm, would you be closer to that robot or closer to your
Okay.
human family?
Excellent. All right. Beautiful. That's a great conversation there. Nagawa, I'll have you go next. Tell me what you feel about responsible AI, what it looks like if you start to integrate that into a classroom. And maybe if you also could identify what age you'd be talking about, because I think that means something.
Oh, so I don't need to give like workshops to adults who are
Mhm.
learning how to use AI, and
Mhm.
basically I tell them like what tools to pick to make
Mhm.
sure that you know that the tool you're picking is the one that's as close to being as responsible as
Mhm.
possible for the work that you're intending to do. So there'll be like some I like recommend they just stay clear completely, just because I know there's like extractive, they're not like based on human rights. They're not at all like interested in like being ethical or anything like that. So I'll kind of like recommend based
Okay.
on that like this one is a lot better just because your data will tend to be safer there, or you have more ways of controlling your data
Mm-hmm.
because we know it's not 100%, and they're just making sure that they have ways of like and then also just teaching them that you don't put in any of your personal information or anybody's personal information,
Mm-hmm.
just even if they say that your data is safe,
Mm-hmm.
just because you never know. Their policies can change.
Mm-hmm.
And from a drop of a hat, one time they're like saying, we don't touch your data. And before you know it, they're saying, we're storing it. And if you want out, you need to kind of like everything will be
Yeah.
deleted. So just to be like, safe proactively if it changes. So it's things like that and making sure that like whenever there's a new AI that comes about, making sure like what are they asking in exchange for using it for free? Like,
Yeah.
how much of your data are you giving up? Because we have to
Mm-hmm.
think about what Facebook did before. It's going to be the same thing. They're going to want something from us, so we do
Mm-hmm.
not want to become the product inadvertently for using
Mm-hmm.
their services.
That's good.
So yeah,
You could also
so
put in there open claw. I know a lot of people had reservations because right away I can do more stuff for you if you give me more access. I could do more stuff. All of them, y'all, as agents take off right now, it's a give and take. But if you just let me see so and so on your hard drive, I will work on your behalf. So I'm gonna just say it. This may be the data part in our sharing could be part of a 2026 conversation that in
yeah,
2028 we may have given over some of this because it's just the world of agentic AI. That's possible. I don't know, but I'm fighting against it right now. So we'll see. Ian, can you tell us really quick? Is that in your wheelhouse right there? Integration in the classroom, Ian?
Um, Usually I teach students online. So
And what
uh,
ages are they?
uh, I mean, all very
Oh,
young.
okay,
Like
okay.
we probably grade 3
Mhm.
to like even like all the others, like graduate school students. I
Let
mean,
me ask
teaching
you this. I'm going to ask you a specific question then.
yeah.
What has gone really wrong in some of your teaching? Because I know we've had great experiences and some of them that's been a struggle. Tell us one of the areas that's been a struggle with you integrating responsible AI in your class.
Mm, like struggling part.
Hmm.
Uh,
A
and the thing
challenge.
is, I think probably like the human trust. Like they don't
Oh,
really still don't trust like AI data driven information.
oh, that's
Like
good.
even though it could be very correct, but they don't trust it. And
Mhm,
like I mean, in many cases, I understand, their concern and then their distrust.
mhm.
But the thing is, I have double check and triple check and like cross check even with multiple AI, but they still don't have the strong trust. They still stick to traditional ways.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
good.
believe that human touch, human like involvement is necessary, essential. Like even in the future, it doesn't
Mhm,
matter how correct it is, how accurate it is. They
mhm,
they would, they would still trust the human words.
mhm.
But that's what makes
Excellent.
humans like human. I really
I
believe.
love it. I know Chris is all about this. We are pro-human around here. We're pro-technology, but definitely we are pro-people, pro-people.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody who's had it go really well in the classroom. Somebody, Sadio, have you had it? Okay, something that's gone really well for you.
So I was helping an education administrator
Hmm.
safely adopt AI.
Hmm.
And one of the things that we worked on was having the teachers create more personalized learning material for students that were tied to the state standards. So
Oh,
one of
okay.
the problems that the administrator was facing was that there was a whole cadre of students in her school that were below reading level. And
Hmm.
one of the things that was really exciting was being able to create reading material that was individual to each student
Oh, wow.
based on their interests. For
That's
example,
like
little
Stall
boys who were
Academy.
interested in cars and
Yeah, doing customized education for each student.
customized
That's great.
education. Yes, and that went really well. And that was actually, we were also able to make it culturally relevant, right? And so that
Oh,
was a big
nice.
success story.
I love that, and that is it. That's the way to use it right there, so that we learn the best way possible. Justine, how do we prevent AI from widening global education inequality? And y'all, we got to fight against this one.
Oh, okay, that is quite a question. So, how to prevent?
You can do pass if you want, but I think you can answer this.
Yeah, no,
And
you're good.
we'll come to you, Eli, next. Go ahead.
No, you're good. So the question was like how to prevent AI from introducing global inequality.
Well, widening it because it's there right now. You know,
Right. I
it's
was
crazy. Yeah,
gonna start with that.
it's
I'm like,
brought
there.
more. It has widened the gap since it's been out, since generative. I mean, it's now the knows and the people who don't know. But go ahead.
No, absolutely, Stefan. And I'd love to hear more about your work as you're kind of like, fighting for and advocating for the human to remain in the loop. To your question, for me, what comes to mind is it's not just about who lacks the tool, like lacks a like tool AI, generative AI tool. It's about who lacks the guidance. So one
Oh,
of the things that we're seeing right now is there may be access to different tools. And actually, there's different tiers. There's a free tier, the tiers where you're paid. There's tiers where you pay some more. And along with those different like tiers, is comes with guidance, comes with education. Various guides are on our call right now and our conversation. And so, to me, one of the ways that we can prevent it is that we do need to be very intentional
yeah.
about having guides and creating and building communities alongside learning and growing and working with AI. Like, not everyone can kind of access, the private tools or private sessions, but what does it look like to create spaces where everyone can learn AI
Mhm.
with others, where they can ask questions and basically not fall through the cracks? So I agree with you that the gap is widening, but I believe the gap is widening because there are those who have guides and there are those who have access to higher models
That's
and
good. Yeah.
unlimited tokens. Just
Yeah.
recently, NVIDIA, the founder of NVIDIA, said his engineers have unlimited tokens.
Mhm.
You think about things of that nature, you
Mhm.
think about, things that can kind of widen gaps. So it's definitely necessary, like in under-resourced regions and even in wealthy countries. It's not just poor one. It's not just, less fortunate or poor countries. Like, it's happening in wealthy countries, first world, so to speak, because
Yes.
um, you
Okay.
definitely have to have something that, works through that
Yes.
advantage gap between
Yeah.
students.
I'll just say this with that. Elon, like a month ago, he had a robot and he said, everybody in the world is going to want this robot. I'm like, no, they're not. You can't say that that's what everybody wants is your robot. That's where everything's coming back to because we're all different. And not everybody can afford that stupid robot. All right. Ellie, sorry, you were going to respond to this one.
Yeah, definitely. I think it starts with proliferating technology education,
Mhm.
which, it's going to require creative thinking.
Okay.
Like how to teach without internet, how to teach without a computer, how to teach on a single sheet of paper, like I mentioned earlier.
Hmm.
But to put it very bluntly and quite frankly, if we gave technology literacy the same backing that we give like English teaching programs
Yeah.
globally, we would have more people included in the technology
I
world.
love it.
This is coming from somebody who has done teaching and leadership programs in Japan. I have guest lectured on a panel for a school in Malaysia. I
Mm.
have been to Ghana and talked to a school in a place called New York in Kumasi in rural Ghana that about their computer program and
Yeah.
how to sustainably keep their computers online
Mhm.
through alternative energy sources and what their educational
Mm.
material would look like. But even in parts of the US, there are areas that are just now getting fiber optic internet, just as Justine has said before.
Mhm.
Technology literacy is a global problem,
Mhm.
but it requires us to recognize that there's already an existing education gap, and
Mhm.
AI is just putting itself in that wedge and making it
Yes.
wider. Yes,
Yeah.
there's people who do tutor themselves with AI, but again, that goes back to critical thinking to understand
Mhm.
whether or not to trust the information, look at the sources, and if you are using AI, understand what you're using it for and how you're using it. So,
That's excellent. When I first started talking about AI quite a bit and literacy, I was thinking back to days when in our country, we as Black folks weren't free and we were actually not taught to read. So the thing was, don't let them know how to read. And that held us back. Don't let them know how to read. And we found a way to do it. but reading is massive, period. Reading literacy. The new world is AI literacy. We're not going to get away from it, but I love what you say. We got to treat it with that same passion and tenacity to get that word out. I want to make sure I'm getting to several of these questions here. Should AI literacy be mandatory? Oh, this is a good one. Should AI literacy be mandatory in all levels of education? Who wants to hit that one first?
I
Let's
would.
see.
I
Okay, you got
definitely would. It is mandatory in all levels from the leadership. It starts from the leadership and it should proliferate downwards. Literacy is mandatory to even understand the possibilities of AI and how we, to our last point, how we can get over the digital divides. It is critical from the administrative perspective. It is critical for having a strategy for whatever organization that you're in, to develop an AI strategy for your organization, and then proliferate that down all the way down to the classroom and to the students. It is critical for everyone. There's no
Okay,
one
all the way.
exempt.
What about kindergarten, first and second grade? Can't
Kindergarten, first,
they they can't get away
2-year-old.
from a screen?
No, I mean, it doesn't mean that they have to be, overexposed to screen time, but
Yeah.
the literacy should start from the earliest points forward so that they
Mm,
can understand that what is possible.
mm,
Right now, it makes a big difference, and I'm gonna just touch on this question and the question beforehand.
mhm,
My kids are born in New York City. Their
mhm,
cousins who are in Congo Brazzaville, right? They don't have necessarily access to generative AI, right? Chat GPT, etc. But those kids in the Congo are more mobile first than my kids here. Now, what would happen if the kids in the Congo had access even to the Chat GPT Go, which is now being slowly rolled out, and they understood that they can invent by speaking? What would that change? Right? And that this is the kind of literacy that they have to have. My kids understand the possibilities of AI. They have no question telling you, oh, let's build an app to do that.
mhm.
Right? So if their cousins in the Congo had that same ability, what would the world look like? And then also we have to consider the fact that their cousins in the Congo have to do a little bit more work when they speak into generative AI because of the cultural bias that favors the West here.
Yeah,
Right?
and the AI,
There's
the
that.
natural language processing. Natural language processing does not process everybody's language.
Not everybody's language, but
It leaves a whole lot of people out. So
it
I
does.
like what you said there. Love it. Let's see. Somebody else want to comment? And by the way, I'm thinking of age groups. So let's just try to think of age groups right now from elementary, middle school, and on up. Should AI literacy be mandatory in all levels of education? And I'm talking about age-wise. How do y'all feel about elementary school? Let's just say that up to fifth grade, which is 10 years old or something. I see that time. Okay.
Yeah.
Who is
I'm
that?
happy to hop in on this, and definitely want to give space for more people to speak. Please hop in.
Okay.
I focus mostly on teaching adults, specifically older
Mhm,
adults. I'm talking about retirees and things like that.
mhm,
I think literacy education is important, as I mentioned before, or I think something that I can harp on that I think also Dr. Nagawa brought up before. Wait, I believe it's Doctor. That Nagawa brought, not Doctor, that Nagawa brought up before. Essentially, we have very poor technology consent. So when you have older adults that are having AI models turned on without their knowledge, without their permission, without them explicitly consenting to it, they
mhm,
are then confused and feel thrown into tools that they may not want to use. It's
mhm,
not being a Luddite or being anti-tech, it's that they have their routine and process that they use their technology for.
mhm,
And when you're forcibly introducing new technology, that throws them off, and then they have to learn this thing on top of already all the UI updates and changes that happen.
mhm,
So I think AI literacy is important because it allows, in my context, older adults to be able to understand when AI is about to be injected, when it
mhm,
has already been
mhm.
injected, and decide whether or not they want to turn it off or on, which some
Yeah.
do, some don't.
Yeah, I love that. My mom's about to turn 92 and she loves AI with caution. She uses it. She thinks she's been a teacher. She's raised 8 of us. All of us have gone into teaching and education, and she just loves it. She feels like it is inevitable and it's happening right now. She does not want to see us get behind in that. This is a fascinating question. This next one: where does AI outperform traditional learning? Well, no, I was going to add something that whoever it was that said we can speak into it and create things. That is the future, and that's going to be very interesting as we do that. But where does AI outperform traditional learning, Nagawa?
So I would say basically when it comes to like just like answering questions, because it has access to all the
Yeah.
information. So it can just basically it can just regurgitate back whatever the answer
Yeah.
is. So I think that so we need to shift away from that. I think
Oh, we
when
need to
it comes
shift away from it
so
answering the questions.
no, so it can answer the questions, but that should not be what we should not be doing now when it comes to like to differentiate ourselves from the AI.
Mhm.
We should not be competing on answering the same questions it can answer like in a second. We should be like focusing more on like critical thinking, on
Mhm.
like more creative things, and just like kind of like also just focusing more on strategy, and so that we can, instead of just like just the same things. So, and I think also like it can, and because it's faster than us anyway. It can like it can do like problem solving as well.
Mhm.
Basic things. It can like do them like faster, as long as it's things that doesn't have like anything that has to do with like cultural nuance. It's
Mhm.
like where it
Absolutely.
might struggle a little bit. Yeah, exactly. It's learning. I mean, I know Gemini knows all about the streets like everywhere, but it's still, there are still some things it's not gonna
Yeah.
get like as human, but as a person who would be living in the place. So
That's really
yeah.
good. It is packed with information. It's just getting more and more. My 2 cents, y'all, is it will be smarter than us. Not more people, not more human or anything, but
Mhm.
it'll be smarter than us probably in most ways, and I actually think it might be right now. We won't get on that. Ian, tell me what you think about that. Where do you see AI outperforming traditional learning? Any place in particular?
I'm a bit confused about this question. So, I mean, AI itself or like the learning outcomes through AI? Like,
Yeah, that's a good one.
what's the point? Like, the use of AI. So, I mean, if it's just AI, like, well, AI is definitely has a very fast processing computing,
Mhm,
like processing, like
mhm.
the capability, and then it gives us like instant feedback, and it can detect lots of patterns, and it could also provide personalized data. Also,
Yeah.
in many ways, it is yeah, it is outperforming us, the humans, but at the same time, AI cannot have unlimited amount of data set. Like unlike humans, human has all like we can have almost unlimited amount data set. Like we can learn like until we die, we can almost absorb like so much like information. There's no limit. So
So
like
you wait, let me ask something. So you think a human can possess more data sets and more here than
mhm.
all of AI?
Yeah, the fact is, like from the beginning of the universe, all the information has been accumulated. Like there is like the law of information preservation.
Mm,
Many people don't know about this. They only know about like only know about the energy preservation and like things like that, mass preservation. But information has been accumulated inside of us as well.
mhm.
Like the amount of intuitive knowledge and information inside of us, inside of our brain, is almost, it's so huge, and it's been processed, it's been like accumulated over time, and it's going to be even like a bigger, like over time. But as we know, like so we the intuition our intuition has a very correct data, it has a very like high accuracy. People
Mhm.
don't know about when we make a decision, we sometimes like relying on our intuition is a better option, like
Mhm.
unless it requires like a huge amount of database, like
Mhm.
big data. So it depends on the like making
Okay.
option, but still, so that's what makes it human as well. Like we are.
Yeah, yeah. I like it. You keep coming and everybody's coming back to human. This is a very human talk here. It
If
sounds like we absolutely need for us to be in the loop. Somebody came off mic.
Yeah,
Who
I
was
was like, if
Yeah.
I really quickly on this here, I think one of the things that I is interesting I'm observing is how AI is helping with how do I put it? Like the absence of judgment or shame in learning. Right. So I'll use myself, for instance. I will want to learn something new. Even the agents, someone
Mhm.
mentioned they're running around with creating all these different agents, and I'll say to the AI, explain it like I'm five. Like I want you to break it all the way down. And sometimes at times when you're like learning from others, there is a bit of that maybe shame to say I don't get this, or I need you to explain it again and again. And
Mhm.
one of the that's something I would call out as far as AI outperforming traditional learning to your question, Stefan.
Yeah.
Like it is kind of creating a space
Yes.
where we're removing that shame or that social cost of not knowing. You can ask the questions in five different ways. You can
Right.
ask it to iterate why did it explain this way. So I feel like that's where guidance comes in as well.
Mhm.
But that's something I wanted to add to your.
I love that. That's a
You know,
very positive take on it. And let me just say,
Add
you all
something as
feel free to also add this to it. So where it can help us in learning, get your AI to be more of an antagonist. So your student has different concepts that they're learning. Well, turn the AI the other way so it can argue a counterpoint. And that's a really great thing for our learning because it's all not always for us if we also have it take on a persona that's not for us. Uh, Dr. Lola, did you come off mic?
Yes, I was trying to add to what Justin said. One thing about AI is it outperforms in personalization and scale. It can
Yes.
adapt instantly,
Yes.
respond continuously, and support millions of learners, right?
Mm,
And also, that is something that the traditional system cannot do.
that's
But we
good.
just have to be cautious of using it.
Hmm. That's
I
very good.
am of the opinion that AI does not know everything. Is what we feed the AI, what we train the AI to know. That's all is limited to. Take, for
Mhm.
instance, like culture. If I have a peculiar culture that is not so popular and has not been trained with the AI is not going to know if I ask questions about the particular culture.
Mhm.
So, yeah, we just have to use it cautiously, but it's actually good for personalization, how you want it to break things down for you, like Justin said, and also is scalable. You want something immediately, and it's going to give you a result, within a twinkle of an eye. But you
Mhm.
just have to verify and make sure what you are getting out is actually correct and is not hallucinating.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's good. So that scaling has come up a few times, personalization and customizing. What is the thing? The guy's name is Sal something, and he has a big learning course. Sal Khan, Khan Academy. But what's the new one? Is it called Duolingo or something? Yeah, I think it's called.
both,
It's a
both of them, Khan Academy, Duolingo. Yeah.
that one. Yeah, I think I heard him at a conference, and he really is putting out there some models of customized education. So this is a big one. It's right here. How do we train teachers and students to use AI confidently and ethically around the world?
I
Okay,
would,
I got
Okay.
you. Go ahead,
I would say
Sadia. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I would say in terms of AI ethics,
Mhm.
we would have to start introducing ethics from very young. The conversations that we don't have about ethics in traditional classroom, we'll start to have to integrate that. Right now, I've been encouraging school leaders to integrate this idea into any type of digital literacy classes that they have to start discussing ethics from a very young age. And that is going to help with them understanding how to use it ethically, right? And it's not only ethics with as in cheating or not cheating within the classroom, but also what does this mean for the impact on the environment, the impact on society,
Mhm.
explaining biased outcomes, etc. So all those things have to be introduced early, just like when you're training a society for anything, you
Mhm.
have to start from the very beginning. So
Mhm.
yes, these concepts have to be introduced very early.
I'm gonna throw something out to y'all, and it's the ethics. Do we even agree what ethics is in the first place?
Kind of. I mean, they're on very different levels, right? You have ethics from the philosophical point of view, and then you have ethics from the practical point of view in a kindergarten class.
Yeah.
So, there's variations of it.
Yeah, I had a bunch of talks now with Nick Bostrom. He's a guy that wrote Super Intelligence and was teaching philosophy 19 years at Oxford, and it was on ethics because he was putting out papers. And I told him, it can become confusing. You're trying to redefine ethics to almost mean anything. And I said, when you do that, it sort of takes the foundation, it takes gravity away. And if we didn't have a ground that was keeping us there, it'd just be sort of quicksand, or it's malleable. And when you make words and terms and concepts like ethics completely malleable to mean anything, how in the world are we going to be training kids and teachers? And I think that word is important. The only reason I put a book in there is the book I didn't want to write released, and it's all about terms that are being rewritten right now, and they're powerful terms that we really need to have some sort of corporate understanding of a real meaning of it, so we can be teaching it ethically. Who else wanted to jump in on that conversation?
I would definitely like to hop in on the changing definitions of words and kind of bring it to the next question that we have coming up.
You got it.
I quite literally did a project about this in my master's program. As someone who was noticing that a lot of survey work done on cyborgs, on AI and sentiment, it was kind of framed as, do you fear that AI is going to take your job? Do you think cyborgs are going to take over? Things like that. But I ran a study that basically got that direct survey information from the populace. It was 111 people that got how people are defining the word robot, how people are defining the word cyborg, how people are defining the word human, putting those sentiments on a scale. That's the same research that I mentioned earlier when I talked about explaining cyborg anthropology to a 13-year-old. And the results of that just short test round study was the fact that the definition of cyborg in research, in industry, and to the everyday person are entirely different things. And that impacts the ways that we're defining AI, the ways that we're creating ethics and laws and regulating things like AI, and overall the ways that we are doing that same thing for ourselves as a panel of humans. So the changing definition isn't necessarily the problem. The real challenge is, and the real issue is, we're not prepared for the definition to change, because there's many people all over the world right now joining us who live in various different countries, who might be multicultural in your own ways. The definition of human has not been consistent, and not all of us have had the right to personhood. So we need to understand the fact that it's not AI that's like, oh no, it's far too advanced. We were already.
Oh, you hit your mic. We can't hear you. Yeah, something happened to your mic.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Yeah.
Okay. Long story short, because I was on a roll, but essentially, we've already been behind from an ethics standpoint. We've already been behind from a legal standpoint, from an education standpoint. AI has just kind of put its webs through and accelerated and emphasized and inflamed the ways that we've already been behind. And so when we talk about, the next question of how students can learn to think critically, how teachers can learn to think critically, the ways that I see it is by pushing people to ask the classic 5 W's and H: who, what, where, when, why, and how. But don't stop there. When you're given an answer, ask those questions again. Like, who built this AI model? When, why, and how? What is the AI model? Like I asked earlier, are we talking about generative AI? Are we talking about machine learning? Then ask questions of those answers. The point of friction that we face in that conversation is not a wall, it's a door that
You ask your questions.
Yes, exactly. We're asking questions of our answers because they're not good enough right now.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And I just want to say, just for my cause in this, I took definitions. I only went back to 1950, Oxford Dictionary. Hey, let's see what consciousness meant in 1990. Now let's do the same definition today. Now we're going to use all these AI models and watch and see what that same word is probably going to mean in 2050. Y'all, it's not that AI is becoming conscious. Conscious is becoming AI. we're taking words and adapting them so that they fit what we need. And there's a lot of words like that that we're going to try to assign the same word, in some way to AI. And the way to do it is to reframe our definition, so that I call it sort of a word drift. But this one, how do we teach students to think critically about AI specifically? Somebody else jump into that. Let me see.
Okay, I can.
Okay.
So here's what
Ian, I'm coming to you next. Go ahead.
Okay, so here's what I would say. Students should treat AI as something to evaluate, not something
Ooh,
to trust blindly.
that is nice. Yeah.
And like Eli said earlier, you should always have questions at the end of the day. You have to be able to know where it's coming from. That is your output. Know what could be wrong and ask a question. Can I verify this independently? If
Yes.
you are able to do those three, then you are actually exerting critical thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And that is where
Yeah.
the AI lacks, that's part of the pitfalls. It cannot
Mhm.
think critically because it's not human. And
Mhm.
then there's no empathy. The human judgment is still not there. So we as humans, we should be able to evaluate it and not just run blindly with whatever output is dishing out to us.
Evaluate it. I love that.
Yeah.
That's great. Evaluate it. Ian, if you can tell us in just a few words, how can students be taught to think critically about AI?
So, as an educator, I'll teach my students that without having like proper knowledge, without actually having like an in-depth knowledge on expertise in a certain area, like using AI could be very limited. You cannot get a high quality like data or information or any kinds of creative work. But when you have like an expertise in a certain field, like using AI would be a very different story. They can create a artwork. They can create some sort of like novel ideas or like some sort of like a programs or even like very creative book.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to brag about myself. Like as soon as I got into graduate school, I could just sort of like produce a sort of doctoral dissertation like within 2 weeks. But I don't really think it was not a it was a bad quality. I mean, so but the thing is, somebody must have some sort of like a previous. I mean,
I like that.
prepared like knowledge.
Yeah.
In this, yeah. So
That's very cool. Look at people who are naturally good at some things. AI can really expand that, and allow them to think critically and create some more things. Listen, this has been a really great time of sharing. I would encourage all of us to make sure we're following one another, make sure we're following what GatherVerse is doing. I'm all in on AI literacy. I'm all in, and AI is probably saying right now, well, y'all better be, because things are changing as we speak. More information's coming out there. These AIs are starting to learn from synthetic data. They've gotten all this stuff, and now they're learning from memes, and they're learning from stuff that people are making up that's AI in the first place. So yeah, we have to stay on top of it, evaluate everything.